Good evening, gentlemen, and a few of you ladies that may be listening. This is Spiritual Art of War, back at it again with another episode. And this time, we're going to talk about Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. As you know, the news just came out that Travis Kelce popped the question, and he is going to marry, or plans on marrying, Taylor Swift. And this is interesting because it's happening right before the football season is about to kick off, which I think it kind of makes sense for Travis. If you're going to get engaged, just get it out the way before the season starts. So that way you can just focus on football without having to focus on, the relationship, so to speak. And this also probably signals that Travis Kelce may be retiring soon. Okay? So I think that this probably will be his last season. I think that he's going to he's going to retire as he's still multiple Super Bowl champion, multiple year Pro Bowler, probably going to go down as the greatest tight end of all time. I'm pretty sure that's what the sports pundits will be pushing when he retires, that he's the GOAT tight end. Some people would say Gronkowski. Some people may say Tony Gonzalez, because you could say he kind of revolutionized the position. Antonio Gates didn't have the longevity nor the championships to get that title, but he was also a great tight end himself. But Gronk has the accolades. He has the numbers. He has some, memorable moments, man. Big games, big catches, in big drives, clutch, shows up, many times when needed. So that's just what it is. So I think, he's looking at his situation right now. Here's the thing. Going back to that Paul Pierce, but Paul Pierce said, get you a 5, get you a 6. I would say on a scale, I would say that Taylor Swift is at least a 6. And I say that's I would say that's her floor. Her floor is probably a 6. You know what I'm saying? But now, you got people out there that don't like skinnier women. They don't like women that have the model-esque beauty. But I think that feminine woman, thin, and she's not weak thin. She's thin like a regular throwback 50s thin. She has a collarbone like your boy Kevin Samuels would say. And she knows how, she's rich, so she has the, the makeup artist and the stylist, and she's going to have, someone's going to work on her hair and her nails and all that stuff. She's going to be kept up pretty well. She's a fairly tall woman, which is probably good prospects for him if he's looking to have, tall, athletic children. If athleticism does pass down, I don't know. But everybody knows that this is why it's so beautiful how this came together, right? Because of the Paul Pierce comment. You see, Travis Kelce was with Kayla Nicole, and I think I might have done a thing on Kayla Nicole. And a lot of divestors, a lot of these swirlers, they're hurt over this. Travis Kelce went out with Kayla Nicole for some years. And I'm going to round her up. She's like an 8.5, but let's go ahead and round her up to a 9. Let's just say that Kayla Nicole's a 9, right? And Taylor Swift is a 6. It is clear that Travis Kelce chose a woman outside of her beauty. This is again showing a woman that what you bring in beauty is not enough to get a man to commit to you. You have to have other qualities. And this right here will blow the mind away of a divester and a swirler. Because most divestors and swirlers are not as good looking as Kayla Nicole. So for them propping up an Eve, a Kayla Nicole, so many other women that they prop up as examples, and it's still not matching in outcome. And they're hurt right now. I would wonder what the likes of Chrissy and all these other divester swirler women Crystalline Kerosene would say about this engagement. And I've seen some comments already on, on Shade Room, and they hurt. They like, he had, he was looking differently when he was dating Kayla Nicole. Now he out there looking like a country boy. Yada, yada, yada. They heard about it, right? But here's the thing. Travis Kelce, from a practical position, is making the decision that would make sense to most men if they had a woman like Taylor Swift going after them. If you got a woman like Taylor Swift, worth over who's a billionaire, by the way, who has a legendary music career, even if you don't like her music, they're not the demographic that she is making music for. In that demographic and in the space of music, she is considered one of the legendary artists. Okay? She's like their version of like a Mariah Carey. This is like Mariah Carey deciding to marry Nick Cannon. A woman who's worth way more than the man, and she is obsessed with the man, and she doesn't care that she makes more money than him. She doesn't care that she's worth, $500 million and her man's only worth maybe 30 to 40 million, like Nick Cannon and Mariah Carey was, right? It doesn't bother her, and it doesn't bother her. Let me tell you why this works out so well. This shows you the currency, how the currency of, I think we talked about it before, the looks currency and the status currency was enough for him to attract and retain a Taylor Swift, because his status is that he's a football player. He's a jock. Okay? So he's the jock. He's the looks guy that the woman want. And she gets to live out that fantasy that she got with the jock. Okay? That universally amongst the white America, the middle white America, he fits the Chad prototype to a T. He is the definition of a Chad. Okay? And these women, they want a Chad. And she got the ultimate Chad. And I don't think women understand, and maybe even some of you men are not at that level to understand Travis Kelce's attraction to Taylor Swift. See, to us, she's a 6. Even to him, she's a 6, but she won on the subjective qualities. And he's not letting that go. She's going to have to file for divorce for them to break up. I'm going to tell you that much. Because what he's going to get out of that relationship with the money and the status access that she has, you can't even beat it. You can't even beat it. And I don't think, I'm telling you right now, I can't think of, unless you have other principles. Unless you have other principles as to why you wouldn't be with the Taylor Swift, religion, race, maybe you don't want to be in the spotlight. There's a lot of different reasons why, okay? Why someone may say, you know what, she's not for me. Understandable. But outside of those things, the men that are not concerned about those issues, it wouldn't even make any sense for you to say no. You're winning. You marry this woman legally. You have access. Even if she puts a prenup together, I wouldn't even, she needs to put the prenup together to where if she decides to leave or I leave, I still got to leave with at least 250 milli. I'm not going to take half, but you're going to give me 250 milli. If you like me that much, I'll sign the prenup, but that prenup going to be at least 250 milli. And I won't put you on child support. Just clean 250 mil, joint custody on the kids. That's what I would do. I don't need half a billy. If she comes to me with the prenup gonna be 250 milli. Take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying? If you want me that bad, just be glad I'm not trying to take half of everything. Okay? So, bruh, this is what it is, man. This is what it is. This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the reality of what's happening on the ground. Not these fantasies these women be talking about. Okay? They thought that Paul Pierce was crazy. You don't think that Travis Kelce can't go get him something that way better looking, younger? Way better looking and younger. Way better looking and younger. You be kidding yourself. I mean, you know he can. We saw his ex. It ain't like he couldn't go out there and go get Miss California or something. You can go get a co-ed, one of these cheerleaders or you know, dancers out of these big universities. Go get a girl that's a legit model. I mean, he could literally go through IG and just choose him something. And it's over. Like, it ain't like it would be hard for him. But look what he got. And, you know, you got the divestors. Like I said, the divestors in the swirler community, they're going to be confused. And then you got to go back to the drawing board. What do you got to do to get a guy like Travis? No, y'all don't get those type of men. Y'all don't get those type of men. That's why if you look at athletes, right? If you look at white football players, they rarely date black women. How much more marry them? There was one, I forgot, I don't know if he played for Philadelphia, but he had a black girlfriend and he damn near beat her to death. He was like a big dude, like a defensive lineman or offensive lineman or something like that. And he like busted her face up some years back. That's like the last relationship I can recall outside of Travis Kelce where a player dated a black woman in the NFL. Like, it's just that rare. Another one I can recall, Brian Urlacher had a fling with a black woman out there in Chicago, and it led to a child. And he wanted nothing to do with the woman. And he, you know, basically just settled for the child support and kept it moving. You know, that child right by now got to be like in high school, because this happened a long time ago. You can look up the story. And Brian Urlacher was a highly touted linebacker coming into the NFL. He kind of lived up to his expectations. I think a lot of what happened with Brian Urlacher was the team around him just wasn't that good. He had some few good years. He was a Pro Bowler multiple years. You know, very, very talented guy. But, you know, Chicago's been struggling for a long time to put together a team that can make the playoffs. How much more go deep, right? In the playoffs. So, but yeah, he had a fling and had a child, a son, out of that situation. That kid got to be 2025. I don't remember what year, but that kid got to be around high school age by now. So I don't know if that kid is like, you know, is pursuing football. I'm pretty sure he is. I'd be shocked if he isn't. If he isn't like pursuing football, but I have to look him up. But yeah, that's kind of what it is, man. It's just very rare. And even NBA is pretty rare. I remember Rex Chapman, I think when he was at University of Kentucky, he was dating black girls at University of Kentucky, and it was a controversy because he had a black girlfriend. Okay, I think he was even told by somebody not to date black women. I don't know if he ended up marrying a black woman, though. I don't believe he did. When he got to the NBA, he went to end up playing for the Charlotte Hornets. I think he even won a slam dunk contest, if I'm not mistaken. Who else? I'm literally trying to go down the list because I'm telling you, bro, it's so rare that it's like you could damn near think about it and be like, yeah, this person did. Dirk Nowitzki, I think he ended up marrying a woman that's like half Ethiopian and half like German or something like that. And he even said it himself in an interview that growing up in Germany, he found a lot of black actresses and singers attractive. He had crushes on black singers and actresses. So it's kind of not a surprise that he ended up marrying a quote-unquote black woman, which a lot of people didn't know that, as through his career, you know what I'm saying? I think even people were shocked when they saw his wife years later, who he ended up, marrying or whatever. So, but I'm literally trying to think of another person, bro. I'm legit, like, my mind is like, I'm going through the Rolodex in my mind in the NBA, and I'm like, I can't even think of another one right now, bro. It's just so rare. It's just so rare, bro. Like, I'm telling you, NBA is even rarer. It's like just go through all the NBA players that are white, the prominent ones and all them. They just don't deal with black women, and they got access to them if they want them. Tyler Hero, I don't know if you can count him, but he's with one of the Henry sisters. Okay, and her dad is black, mom is white, but she looked like, it's hard to tell. With her, unlike her sister, she has a sister that used to be with Trey Songz back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So, you don't think I'm obsessed with these people's lives. I just have a good memory. That's all. That's one of my gifts, is a good memory. Not I would say I have the greatest memory, but I have a very good memory. It's Tyler Hero. So look up Tyler Hero's woman. I think her name is like Kathy or Katya Henry, something like that. She's like a fitness model type chick. Dang, I'm really trying to think if there's any more, bro. I think that's really it. I really can't think of anybody else. Baseball, you can forget about that. Them boys do not deal with them. Heck, not even a lot of the black baseball players deal with black women. I think there was like one, I remember there was one. He was like, he had two women he was dealing with, and he was dealing with black women, and he was like a big deal on Shade Room. These chicks is like, oh, he fine, because he was like dealing with some other female that they kind of knew about or followed. But other than that, man, it's really not that many. There's really not that many options, bro. Like, not that many times I've seen that they've really been into these sisters like that. And it's not like they don't have the options, bro. They got the options, man. They just don't pursue them. They just don't pursue them, bro. Not even the coaches. Maybe there's a coach. I think there may be a coach. And you know what? I know one of the coaches. I think the coach for the Boston Celtics, his dad is Italian and his mom is black, but I don't know if his dad was ever like a coach in the NBA. Mazzulla or whatever his name is. So even if you go down the list of coaches, I don't think there's even an option that I could even think of either. I mean, it's literally just like that. So yeah, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, making it happen, Captain. It is what it is, man. I mean, it's so obvious that people don't want to just face the reality of, what's really going on ground, man. And that's what I'm telling you, man. That's what I say. See, these men like Travis Kelce that have dealt with, and think about it. People just think about he dealt with they look at it like, oh, he was with Kayla Nicole, yada yada yada. Bro, do you understand the kind of like woman that dude has been running through even while he was probably with Kayla Nicole? He was even on a dating show, if I'm not mistaken, years back. Think about from college through his NFL career, before he got with Kayla Nicole, during his time with Kayla Nicole, after Kayla Nicole, before he got with Taylor Swift, the kind of woman he was knocking down, bro. So, I mean, these men know what a lot of men don't know, is that these highly beautiful women, a lot of times they have diminishing returns in other areas. They don't offer much outside of their beauty and their looks. And while average men in America think that they would love to be with those kind of women, those men already been with those women, and they realize that those women are not the best of women for themselves. And that's why I even talk about it with you men. Don't chase after beauty. I tell you, it's about a woman being attractive enough to you. Just like Paul Pierce is saying, if you watch the longer version of what Paul Pierce talking about, the 5 or 6, he said, you might see me with something that you be like, why are you with her? He said, don't even ask me that. Don't run up on me and ask me about why I'm with her. You know what I'm saying? Because, meaning I know why I'm with her. So a lot of men, because of ego, some men may want to be with a woman that's so beautiful that it's going to make them look so right. Does it work? Oh, you better believe it. Like, having a beautiful woman is like adding a supercharger to a naturally aspirated, Camaro or something. Okay? It's going to do some things. So there's no doubt about it that having a beautiful woman is going to open up certain doors. It's going to have you in certain places that you wouldn't otherwise be. That's the reason why a woman is like she's like a queen on a chessboard. But a woman that is resourceful, that can add value to you in other ways, that can help you elevate to the next level, is even more powerful than a beautiful woman. Okay? The asset, the silent assassin. She's not the prettiest thing, but she gets the job done. And that's all that matters. She gets the job done. So that's why I talk about what's called baseline level attraction. If a woman is attractive enough, that's something you work with. But I would say this: it's easier to make a younger woman more attractive than an older woman to become more attractive. In addition to having to reform her mindset, harder to do with an older woman, right? Versus building up a younger woman into the proper mindset that suits you and your objectives as a man. Okay? So anyway, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next episode.